Have you ever wondered what it would be like to earn a full-time income by selling on Etsy? Well, in this video, I am going to give you an inside look to see exactly what my March earnings were in my Etsy shop. Trust me, you won't believe how much profit I got to keep at the end of the month. While the thumbnail showed you my revenue, I will be getting into the exact numbers, and I will also be letting you know exactly how much effort I had to put into my shop to make that amount of money. My first year on Etsy, I made just over $30,000 profit, most of that being toward the end of that year. My second year on Etsy, I made just over $100,000 profit, and that allowed me to quit my teaching job and pursue this full time. This is my third calendar year on Etsy, and we're 3 months in. I am going over my March numbers. It's early April right now if you are watching this when I drop it. And we are going to see exactly what's possible just a little over 2 years in. We're in the third month of my third calendar year to see exactly where we could scale these Etsy shops. And you are going to want to stick around to the very end because by popular demand, so many people have asked me, hey, Shawna, can you let us know how many listings you had that first year, month by month, and then how many sales you were getting? So I had access to exactly how many orders I was getting. So at the end, I'm going to show you exactly how many listings I put out that I was at, and then how many orders I received that month. So that way, if you're in your first year, it'll give you kind of an idea of how much effort it took me, and you can kind of compare your efforts to gauge how long it'll take you to reach your goals. Hey everyone, Simply Shawna here, and I welcome you back to my channel. Let's get into the numbers. On screen here, we've got March 1st through March 31st in 2021. You could see I had 87 orders and my revenue was $1,747. Now that would have been my 5th month on Etsy. So 1 year later in 2022, my order volume bumped up to 360 orders and my revenue was $15.9 thousand is what I did in revenue. So the numbers we really want to look at are 2023. 1 year later, I was able to bump up to 617 orders and $34.8 thousand in revenue. And remember, I made just over $100,000 profit last year. This year, I'm trying to make $200,000 profit. So I'm trying to double everything. So let's look at the profit numbers. That first March was $450 profit. 1 year later, it was $4,965 profit. I was still teaching that year, and that was incredibly exciting. My profit this month was $8,025.94. I'll show you real quick a really easy way to figure out how much money you made for the month. In Etsy, you go to Shop Manager, Finances, and then you can view all your monthly statements. I chose March here, and right there in the middle, it says your net profit on Etsy for March 2023 was $27,875.57 That's my shipping and item cost. I also use Printify, so if I go into my account, into my payments, and then I can get to my summary invoices, March is $446.90. So it just occurred to me that I have two types of viewers probably out there right now. You might have clicked on this video for the first time and never heard about Etsy shops or e-commerce or print-on-demand shops, and you're like, what is she talking about? Tell me more, because I know that's how I felt when I clicked on my very first video on this topic. And then I have two of my other viewers that are my subscribers, people that are in this, and you're watching this video because you're wondering, where can I get this to go? Like, where's the ceiling? How big can we make these shops? And that's why you're watching. So we're going to get more into that in just a second and see where it's stacking up for the year and exactly how many listings it took me. But real quick, I wanted to address those viewers that are clicking on a video like this for the very first time ever. Anyone can do this. It takes persistence, and that's probably the biggest thing it takes. The skills that you need aren't so difficult. So if this is the first time that you're clicking on this, I'm just a regular person with no business, absolutely no business background. I was a 4th grade school teacher and tutoring after school to make ends meet happened upon a video similar to this one and was captivated. So if that is you, definitely you could send your life spinning in a different direction by just watching more videos about this topic. All right, let's get back into it. We know my goal for the whole year is $200,000. For January, I made $6,704.11. February, $6,434.78. And I just revealed March, the numbers for March, $8,025.94. That does leave me with $178,835.17 to go. You might be thinking at this point that I'm not on track, but I'd like to point out that last year, September, October, November, December, I made over $70,000 of that $100,000 profit that I got to keep for the year of 2022. So those are the big earners there. Q4 is October, November, December, and I'm in a niche that does well during September as well. So between those 4 months, I am hoping to have a nice amount of income coming in again this year. As far as doubling each month, I did do that in January. I did do that in February. I was a little over doubling. For the month of March, I was a little under. So I had made almost $5,000 last March, and this March just a little over $8,000. So I should have made closer to $10,000. When I look at all of the numbers together, I'm making about $21,000 so far this year. Last year it was about $11,000. So I'm about $1,000 off of that goal month by month doubling. So that means I'm just a little bit off of where I see needing to be in order to meet my goal. I can't make people purchase from me, and you can't either, but you can make goals that make that likely. So for me, I try to do 175 listings each and every month. That's my current goal. And I did do that this month. And if I want to maintain this goal of doubling, if that's not quite cutting it out, I'm going to have to up that. Now, I don't know where that time's coming from because I also have YouTube goals, and I want to produce 2 videos for you guys every single week and build this YouTube channel up. I will get it figured out. We will see. But I am not faltering from that goal. I'm going to push myself and see if I can double my shop, and we're on the journey together. We'll see how it goes. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at those listings that I had month by month, how many listings I had each month, those first 12 months, and how many orders I was able to gain each and every month of those first 12 months. But before we do, real quick, if you are enjoying this video and you do like my taking a minute to be a little vulnerable and share all these finance numbers with you, I know that those were always the numbers that really motivated me when I was getting started. Just take a second to go ahead and smash that like button. And if you do like content like this and you want to keep up with this journey, you don't want to miss any of the updates, don't forget to ring that notifications bell and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Also, if you have any questions about Etsy shops, how to open an Etsy shop, or selling online, I get to all of my comments. Don't be shy. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below, and I will definitely answer it the best I can for you. Also, you might just want to share a little bit of your story. I love reading those comments, and I know that other viewers looking at this, thinking about opening their shops, or they're just getting started and haven't made their first sale yet, or they're like 3 months in and haven't made a sale yet, or have only made 1 sale, and they're wondering about other people. That is really encouraging for others to read about your story. So don't be shy. Go ahead and let us know what your story is and where you're at in your journey. Here we are looking at our listings profit and by month. So you'll see this is 2020 to 2021. We're starting with October up there. By the end of October, I had 43 listings. I had $70 profit because I had one customer come in to buy 30 shirts that were very niched down. So it was just a super lucky purchase that was made. November, by the end of November, I had 201 listings, $12 profit. I made, I think it was 3 orders at the very end of the month. Actually, let's take a look at the orders. So that first month, October, 43 listings, and I had 3 orders. It wound up being 30 shirts in those 3 orders from that really niche down teacher shirt that I just got lucky with. And then I didn't double down on that, which was a mistake. I should have made lots of teacher stuff right then. In November, it was the very end of the month. I'm talking like November 28th. It was like right before December started. I had no orders, and 4 orders came through. I had 201 listings, 4 orders, all single shirts at the very, very end of the month. And they were all aunt and grandma shirts because I was making aunt and grandma things since I'm an aunt and my mom is a grandma. I believe they were Christmas gifts that people were buying them for. They were all personalized, by the way. So they were putting like their names in, Aunt Shawna or grandma with the kids' names. And then in December, by the end of December, I had 450 listings. I was listing like a fiend. Just don't forget, as a teacher, I get breaks like spring break, winter break. And so in December, I had 2 weeks off and I was listing like crazy during that winter break. I wound up with 11 orders and I think like around 7 of those were friends and family. So there was not very many organic customers. Maybe 3 or 4 organic customers came through. I do remember making a sale through like Google ads, and that certain item sold I think 2 or 3 times. So that might have been all my December orders organically. By the end of January, I had 604 listings and I had 26 orders come through that month. February, I had 738 listings and 47 orders came through that month. In March, I had 916 listings and 87 orders came through that month. Around this time, I had to drop all my Jeep stuff because I became aware that I was not allowed to have it. So you'll see in April, my listings don't go up very much. I had to drop something like 300 listings. I had spring break during this period of time, so I was able to list a lot of stuff. But at the end of April, I only have 962 listings because, again, I probably put 300 new listings up, but I had to delete around 300 listings out of my shop. So in April, I wound up with 121 orders coming through my shop. That was pretty exciting. I remember that being like around $1,000 profit, if I remember right. We go back to the other chart and look. At the end of May, I had 1,156 listings and I had 189 orders come through the shop that month. In June, I had 1,192 listings and 134 orders came through that month. Every June, I drop a little bit. That's just the pattern for me. Now, it is known that summer months could be a little lower in sales. But for me, I know that that's partially because of the different niches that I'm in, that I kind of have a high in May and then I drop a little in June and start picking back up. Now, just to be clear, January, February, March are always my lowest months. June just doesn't usually climb. It doesn't drop too much, but it drops a little bit from the month prior. So then in July, I've got 1,356 listings and I have 233 orders that month. And I did have a profit of around $2,500 that month, and that was super exciting. In August, 1,643 listings. I'm in summer break here, so I am listing a lot, but I'm also having things expire that I did not renew right away. So that's why you're not seeing the listings go up as much as you might expect while I'm in summer break. I did have 395 orders that month, and now I'm breaking, like $5,000 profit months at that point. Now you'll see in September, October, I trail off with only 268 orders and 259 orders. Even though this is like Q4 and this is the time you're supposed to get the most sales, I'm always telling you, if you've listened to a number of videos, you probably remember my saying, you have to build a niche out. You have to spend time in that niche. Don't upload 50 and then move on to something else. I was doing well in August because I had been working on a niche for months. I had lost the Jeep niche and threw myself into another niche. So that niche was building itself up and I was ranking in that niche. So I was making a lot of sales. I did not have any rank in, Halloween or Christmas or any of that. So I was just trying to get as many products out as I could, as many designs out as I could in those places. So even though I wound up doing good in November and December, and I did do well there, it takes time to build out a niche. So that's why you're seeing that high in August, and then I'm dropping in September and October. Now, what I did not do is think to myself, well, I'm not making as many sales, so I'm frustrated and I'm not going to list as much. My mantra since the beginning, you're not making the amount of sales you want? list, list, list. Oh, you had a day with 0 sales? Shawna, get over yourself. Pick the pity party up and list. That is the only way you're going to change it. And you're going to have to go through, get better at doing the market research, get better at designing. I was certainly awful at it. And if I had been better at it, it wouldn't have taken me so many listings. Pop back over and look at those profit numbers real quick one more time. But before we do, an idea that I've been kicking around, and I'll throw it out to you guys. A lot of people have been messaging me or commenting, wanting me to start a mentor group or wanting me to offer a service of coming in and doing shop reviews. And that I am so honored that there are so many people reaching out and wanting that from me. It's just not something I have time for because trying to keep up with my Etsy shop, and there's so much learning that has been involved in growing this YouTube channel. But I was racking my brain, how could I help? What do I do for my friends and family when they're needing my help? What could I make, or what could I do or offer to give people the help they're desiring? So I was kicking the idea around of making niche-specific calendars available, probably starting with a teacher one, since I know that one so well, because it is so vital, it's so incredibly important to build a niche out. Like you just saw, I got 395 orders, and then I dropped for Q4 because that's the power of building a niche out. Selecting a good niche and building it out and making items for that niche that sell throughout the year. Like different things are going to sell for a particular niche throughout the year. Different designs, hitting different holidays, and so much more, different events. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Or if you have an idea of what type of niche calendar you would be interested in my thinking about putting together, just drop me a comment, get my wheels cranking there about that. And here we take one more look. I just want to point out October through April, I think it's 7 months there, which would be about 28 weeks. I added all those profit numbers up, which is a whopping $1,524 for 7 months of work. And in those 7 months, I was probably putting more than 30 hours a week in, but let's just say 30 hours a week. And when I do the math, I literally was making like $1.50 a month. And if you back it up a month or two, and I take that 662 out there that I made, that was part of the profit, and do the math again, it got to pennies. It was pennies a month, pennies an hour for months. So if you are working for pennies an hour right now and you are grinding your way through, or maybe for nothing right now, you're paying those 20 cents and haven't seen a return on that investment yet. I'm sorry, I know it's hard. I could just encourage you, keep researching, keep getting better and better. If you just get a little bit better each week that you're listing, your listings will get better and better, and you will build success. I am absolutely thrilled with my March numbers. It just goes to show you that hard work, dedication, consistency can really help you build the life you want. And I've done that by utilizing Etsy and the platform of POD, Print on Demand. But don't take my word for it. According to Etsy's 2020 Q4 report, there were 4.4 million active sellers on the platform, and they generated $10.3 billion in gross merchandise sales for the year. That is a lot of money being made on Etsy. And here's another interesting statistic for you. It takes the average new Etsy shop about 6 months to become profitable. That might sound like a really long time, but it's actually quite reasonable. Think about it for just a second. You're building a brand. You're establishing a business with a customer base from scratch. So it's pretty incredible what you could build in that amount of time. So don't get stuck in that 1 month, that 2 month, that 3 month blues. Really be thinking long term down the road. So what can we learn from these numbers? Well, first of all, it's important to stay consistent. Incredibly important to stay consistent with your research, your listing efforts. Secondly, it's crucial to make goals and to do your very best in keeping up with them and achieving those goals. Finally, don't be afraid to experiment with new designs, with new niches, but also remember to build out a niche, to stick with some of your niches over time. consistently listing in a niche over time will really help you break into it. With the right mindset and the right strategies, you can be successful on Etsy. Let's keep chatting in this video here right after this tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.